And always a challenge to type real fast. Let's see. All right. What we got going on this morning.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger cited to justify an announced need for even today security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits. There is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We intend to accept full responsibility for our errors, and we expect you to point them out when we miss them. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, not to emphasize the trivial and the sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My goodness, people. The more I hear this brother talk, the more you listen to JFK, you understand why they killed that brother. You understand they had to take him out. They could not let that brother, oh man, this man, you know, we got to get it together, people. We got to wake the hell up. I don't know what wake AF is, but I know waking the hell up. We need different words because you say some words, people get lost in their identity politics. I own this word. My group owns AF, and okay, wake the hell up. We had a chance. We had a wonderful president in JFK, man who wasn't always right, but a man whose heart was in the right place. But we didn't get behind him, and they killed him. And everything I've looked at in response to JFK and the Warren Commission and all the lies and the BS, it basically points out the fact that the people who killed him are still alive and they still control your government today. They are still running the Congress. They are still running the office of the president. They still have most of the influence in the Supreme Court, and they make all the decisions. So, and wasn't supposed to talk about JFK. I'm not going to talk about JFK this morning. I wanted to start on a powerful message, not from a silly guy like me, but from a deep thinking brother who, you know, we need to look back at our past. And I think most people agree that JFK was a great man. And if we ever find out, well, it's not even find out. I think we already found out who killed him. If we ever make the people who killed him responsible, that is when you will get your government back. You don't get your government back by voting for one party or the other. You'll get your country back when your presidents are allowed to make their own decisions. So, but anyway, all right, that's a little heavy to get started. I won't start on nothing heavy. I'm in the time machine, brother JFK. I'm gonna put you away, Jay. All right, brother, you'll be back at a later time. We're in the time machine this morning. I have a crazy theory. Am I allowed to put out my crazy theories? I got a crazy, because I was talking to brother, who was that yesterday? Escapes me. Anyway, we were on the thread kind of having a good little conversation, and we were talking about, you know me, I like to go to the ancient technology, aliens, whatever y'all believe, I'm good with that, you know, but I like to go back because it's obvious, you know, we've gone through various levels of almost extinction, right? Like we've gone back to places where the human population, I think, if I remember right, it fell within 10,000 people around the world, you know. And so the more popular ones were like the plagues, the bubonic plagues and all that stuff. But going back before that, researchers showed that the human population has almost gone extinct a couple times. So I got a theory. I got a crazy theory this morning. I was talking to, I said, you know what? What if, because none of us know the truth. And that's why I don't know the truth. Don't pretend that I think I know, because I don't know. I'm just guessing. Because we know all the governments everywhere lying. That's all they do. They excel at just lying and lying and line up some more lies to lie some more. So what if in the future we developed time travel? Perhaps, just think about that for a minute. What if we actually, at some time in the future, when our heads got real big, I know it doesn't sound like fantasy if you live in America. You just see people with big heads walking around all the time. But our heads got real big, our eyes got real big, and our bodies got skinny. I don't know, let's say 100,000 years in the future. And we were dying out. But we discovered time travel, because now it's not crazy, right? You know, just keep in mind, time travel is quantum physics, and you know, it's not crazy. We can theorize these things now. It's like theorizing the time machine, theorizing the fax machine, theorizing all these things that actually eventually came about. You know, or was it Orson Welles? He actually predicted today. He actually talked about the internet. He talked about text messaging. He talked about cell phones. He talked about all these things a long time, way before his time. So if we can conceive it, we always do achieve it. That's just how our brains work, which is why we shouldn't be murdering each other, because our brain, you never know whose brain can do what. But I have a theory. So if we, in the future, not if, well, I guess it is an if, because we might actually destroy the planet, kill us and everything. We keep going the way we're going. But if we develop time travel, would it not make sense? Would we not go back and correct mistakes in the past? And I guarantee you we will. I guarantee you. Only very special people who are alone in their own little minds think that we're the only game in town. They think we're the only we're not civilized, the only intelligent species in the universe. And so if the universe is really teeming with life, the way the astrophysicists are now starting to agree with Earth-like planets everywhere, even if it's not some god, alien, genetic engineer starting life, and it's actually booms and microbiology, there's life everywhere. If we get to a point, the only problem there, but with space, there are vast, spanses between planets and solar systems, and so very seldom, perhaps, do you interact. Maybe it was designed that way so we wouldn't interact until we all had a certain level of technology where we could actually protect our little area of the galaxy. I know it's crazy. Just bear with me for a second. So if we went forward in time and we started interacting with all these species that were millions of years old, perhaps billions of years old, with just crazy technology that just seems like magic to us, would it not make sense for us to go back and kind of drop a little something to help humans develop airplanes, maybe help them develop helicopters, help like kind of plant the seed in their mind that they should be developing these things to slowly move human evolution forward, maybe correct some of the rights, drop a little, DNA, what is the helix that they found in Egypt, and go back and teach someone how to do a little brain surgery in South America and Egypt. We would go back and kind of we would spoon feed the human race. We wouldn't give them anything great, like we wouldn't go back and give them a laser gun, but we would go back and kind of embed in just ways to kind of push humanity evolving in the right direction. And so that's what I was thinking about. What if aliens aren't really aliens? What if like all the stuff everybody's seeing, I ain't seen it, I want to see some. I just trust y'all. I haven't seen anything yet. But all the stuff y'all see, what if it's a lot of it that doesn't have a USA label on the side of it, that's just their top secret stuff? What if it's people coming back, which explains like the reasons why during war times everyone's seeing aliens, and a lot of the soldiers come back from Iraq talking about with the FLIR 3, they're seeing crazy stuff in the sky that's not supposed to be there. World War II and the Foo Fighters and all the stuff that all of these military people see during times of war. What if we were just coming back, just trying to make sure we don't go extinct? We're just coming back and we're doing things to kind of push us in the right direction. So if we don't go extinct in 2082, we push it out to 2200, and we push it out to 2300 by just pushing us in the past in a certain direction. I don't know, crazy theory, just a thought, put it out there. I know, call me crazy, do whatever you want, I don't care. I was just thinking about this. You know what? That actually kind of makes sense. That we would go back and just kind of tweak things, not make anything big so we blow ourselves up, but we just kind of tweak things a little bit. And it kind of explains a lot of this stuff, like with those the guys who came forward and said that aliens were coming, they were controlling the nuclear missiles. Like they said, the light appeared and the nuclear missiles were shutting on and shutting off, shutting on. Like maybe they're just kind of telling us, like they're not aliens trying to save the planet. Maybe they're just human beings in the future preventing us from doing dumb stuff. I don't know. It's something I'm kind of thinking about. I got to chew on a little bit. Let me know what you think. That's what I was thinking. I got to get out the time machine for a minute. That was a theory. Let me shoot on over here for a minute. I was thinking about something else. I'm sorry. It's a little loud. Turn that down. I'm sorry. Don't mind the noise. We at the pyramid, y'all. You don't hear the noise during the daytime. The reports are coming in all over Egypt. At nighttime, around ancient sites, they're hearing all kinds of noises. People doing stuff. Who knows what's going on? You don't hear it during the daytime, but at nighttime, they're reporting noises. And I find it interesting. I find it rather delicious that you hear all this construction noise in the night. What y'all doing in the pyramid at nighttime? Y'all remember they discovered that empty space in the pyramid, the big open empty space. Another little theory. I know I'm gonna get to the news. I'm just trying to figure out why they lying about archaeology. Y'all tell the truth. Y'all can't tell the truth about nothing. What are they doing in that big space in the pyramid? They said, oh, well, we're gonna go in there, probably take another couple years, 10 years before we get in there, and we'll go and figure out what's in that big space that can fit it. Can fit a 747. It's supposed to be like 200 feet long or something crazy like that. Big old space in the pyramid. And then who's it? Zahi Hawass, he came out and said, well, we've known for a long time that there's spaces all in the pyramids. It's not so much like a block, it's more like Swiss cheese. Like, how come you never said that before? Why are you saying that now? Now that Scan Pyramids found a big space in the pyramid. And this is why I think this is all important. I won't go down that far, too damn far down that road. This is why I think it's important. We were talking yesterday about all the ancient stones that they find with the cuts that we can barely make today with lasers, but somehow ancients did that with chisel and axes and whatever nonsense they're coming up with nowadays. What if you were a king? You were a king back then, you were a ruler, and well, not even what if. When these guys died, passed away, the pharaohs, whatever, even Genghis Khan, all over the planet, they wanted the world to end when they ended, right? Like they were supposed to live forever, and if they ever died, they were going to take their tools with them. They were going to take their virgins with them. They were going to take their chariots with them. I mean, all over. This is what they all did. They all want the world to end when they die. Oh, Lord, please don't let an American president die. They take all this with us. That's a big tune. They got the bunkers for it, too. But so I'm thinking of this. So if you are, I don't know, somebody in the past and time machine showed up, they flew down, landed, and you wrote it in a book, and suddenly eventually that became a Bible or the Gita or the Quran, things coming out the sky, helping you, teaching you. What if they gave you these tools for making these ancient cuts, right? What if they gave you, lasers and different things where you could actually carve this stuff out? But when you died, you'd probably take it with you. You probably wouldn't want your culture, your group, your race, whatever, your kingdom. You want them to be sad without you because you died. You'd probably take it with you. What if those guys came back and they gave you flying machines? What if they came back and they gave you Vimanas? You ever study the Vimanas from the Sanskrit, the Mahabharata, if I said that right? And they talk about the Vimanas. They talk about the flying ships that were there. All throughout the Bible, they talk about people flying around. All throughout most cultures, they talk about that. Plato talked about it, Atlantis, flying ships. Stuff was flying all over the skies in the past. You might actually want to take one of those things with you. Not that you're buried in the pyramid, but if you found a hole, because I don't think that the Egyptians built the, I think they built some of the pyramids. I don't think they built most of them. But you'd probably take those things with you. You probably have them buried with you. Think about that. The first emperor of China. It was the first emperor of China. The tomb they still can't open. He's in that pyramid. And he's got lakes, he's got booby traps and stuff, and they're scared to open it up where they got all the terracotta warriors. And he took his things with him. And in fact, he took so much stuff with him. He said that the reason they won't go in the pyramid is because it's the moat is surrounded with what is that silver, it's highly toxic stuff and booby traps and everything. And so I suspect that's what they're hearing in these pyramids at nighttime. I suspect, well, first of all, and that was one Vimana. This is what the other Vimanas look like. So they draw pictures of them. They gave the dimensions and the text, and all the ancient cultures talked about all these flying ships, and they drew pictures and carvings, and even some, and some might be true, some might be. I like this one at the bottom was Istanbul, and they thought it was they weren't sure if it was real. But you know what? If I were the government of Istanbul and I found that. And I knew that there was a Vimana, or I thought there was a Vimana somewhere. Somebody carved that, and it was in one of my pyramids, an ancient site somewhere. You know what I'd do? I tell y'all it's fake. I'd lie. I say it's made of plastic. It's made from a mold. I'd lie too. So I don't know. Maybe they tell the truth. I don't know. But I think it's important that we look at ancient archaeology because I suspect what Kennedy talked about, what Eisenhower talked about, military industrial complex. I don't think they're as shallow as we are. I think they know that the ancients had something that we didn't. And so every time they discover a space, a void, a tunnel, hold on, y'all remember this? Remember when they went in the pyramid, they sent the robot in the hole, said, we're gonna go in the hole for the first time. And I think I was a kid at the time. We're gonna send the robot in the hole, we're gonna go see what's in that end of the tunnel in the Great Pyramid. They got to the end of the tunnel and they found this block door thing, but one of the handles is like a little metallic strip. It was already broken off. Sitting there thinking, how did Egyptians make a big old pyramid and somebody crawled back up in a hole that was no more than 12 inches wide and broke a handle? They were already in there. They were already looking at Zahi Hawass and all the rest of them. So there's something in these ancient sites that they don't want the public knowing about. They want to have first hits at it. They want to go in and find that Vimana. Why do I think it's important to the military industrial complex and why all of this stuff fits together? Because if they find, I don't know, some old ancient flying device, some old, just really crappy technology that, I don't know, a time machine or something brought back, kind of helped people back then, and one of them, they didn't take it back with them, they actually took it and hid it in the hole, put it in the pyramid, something, the time machine, people couldn't get it. It would change the whole world, right? I mean, this was a whole, what Hitler was after. You think Hitler was crazy? Well, actually, Hitler was crazy, but do you think he was crazy going all over the world trying to, his interest in archaeology and trying to find technology that we've lost? We know that human beings have gone back within extinction and we lost a lot of the technology we used to have. And it doesn't have to be like high tech. Like, I don't want to think that I'm thinking, oh, we can go back and find some laptops. No, all it has to be is a little power source. All it has to be is a little something that nation or those leaders or whoever can use to top what everybody else has. And that country will rule the world. That's why I think we don't know. We don't get to know what's happening in the pyramids. We don't get to know what's happening in Egypt. Every time, I think their tomb robbers have always been tomb robbers. Look at the Ark of the Covenant, the stories about, the Crusaders and trying to hide it all over Africa, wherever it's supposed to be now, and in America and Oak Island. It is very important. If all the leaders going back in history and the ones today are so hyper focused on ancient archaeology, there's a lot more than what they're telling us. So, but I didn't want to go down too far. I just think it's all connected. I think it's all related. The fact that they lie about everything, and the leaders today, they want everybody fighting amongst each other. But every time you turn around, there's like this big focus on ancient archaeology. There's a big focus on, oh, well, the standard message of things is true. What was it? The the stegosaurus they found was in a Gobekli Tepe on the carving. Oh, that's not true. Dinosaurs never existed while human beings were here. Nah, I think we were all here together. So outside of that line about everything, I wanted to get over to the news. Yeah, Joanne, that's what I think, Joanne. I think it's a power source. I think it's possible that Nikola Tesla, he said he would go to sleep. And Edgar Casey said it too. They go to sleep and they wake up and they just have this idea for like a power source for making something, solving a problem or helping somebody with some condition. And they'll just invent things and they say, I don't know how I do it. I go to sleep and I wake up and I realize it. I think that maybe in the future, we develop means for doing that with human beings, giving them memories and taking them away. You ever want to trip yourself out, Joanne? Take a look at there's studies they do on mice now. They took a mouse, they put it in a maze, and the mouse learned the maze, and then they somehow took that mouse's memory and put it in another mouse. And they put that mouse in a maze, it walked right through the maze. It knew exactly where to go. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy. It's not that crazy. It actually makes a whole lot of sense. So anyway, that's a theory I have. Might be crazy. And it probably is crazy. But when everybody's lying about everything, all of our governments, then you got to make up stuff. You got to come up with motives and think about stuff. So what's happening in the news? My goodness, what's happening? All kind of crazy stuff happening today. Oh boy. Let's go. Trump. I hate saying the name because you say the name and people already. I, First of all, let me preface this with I don't believe, in case this is your first time hanging out with us, I don't believe that any president has ever been president. I think they're puppets. I think it's all a lie. I think they get in office and they're told what to do, which is why they always do the same thing. I need to preface that because I don't want any of my Trump friends to go, oh, he's anti-Trump. And my Obama friends are, oh, he's anti-Obama. I'm not anti anything. I just want those men to speak for themselves. I think they all mean well, but none of them speak for themselves because what Kennedy just told you in the beginning of this, he explained that he needed your help. And we didn't help him. So they killed him, which is what I think it's a decision every president is faced with. If we don't get behind our presidents and force them to do what's right, they'll never do what's right. They'll keep doing exactly what the deep state tells them to. That's my theory. I think that the CIA runs Trump's Twitter account, but that's me. I think every tweet that comes out, they either write it for him or they approve it and then it goes out because it all plays into the same narrative of exactly what Obama was doing, which is why I don't think none of them are in control. But check this out.
Been perhaps most targeted by Trump's tweets after one of his most recent posts. The battle of words between the two did descend into insults about the size and power of their nuclear buttons.
The entire US mainland is within the range of our nuclear strike, and the button is always on the table in my office. They should clearly know that this is certainly not a threat, but rather a reality.
Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it's a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works.
Oh my God. I'm just dying over here. It's hilariously funny to me. Like, I don't know, people are like, oh my God, why is he lying? We talk about nuclear war. What's this guy like? It's hilarious to me because this is just one of the who button big, my button bigger than your button. So my button, and you need Viagra for your button, because my button, I don't need no Viagra. My button, I push my button, it works. And I'm just like, But but everyone jumps off on this and everyone, they start going and they, I think it's silly. I think it is hilarious. I think it's hilarious that that anybody believes any of this. That anybody believes in, listen, North Korea can end the world whatever they want. And they don't need to shoot off no nukes in the air. All they got to do is blow up the nukes right where they are. All the nukes that America gave them. We talked about that yesterday, but this was Trump's response. But it wasn't Trump's response. It was a deep state's response. I'm going to stop saying Trump and Obama. I think y'all got to help me because sometimes I say stuff and I lose people. But I'm going to stop using their name. I had to come up with a name for him, like Trobama. But then that leaves out Bush and Clinton. So it might be Trobomush Clinton, Trobomushinton. I don't know. Trobomushinton. We got to come up with a new name. That way it doesn't trigger anybody's identity politics. But to me, this is hilarious. So we're walking down this route, and unfortunately, and that wasn't the only thing, y'all. That wasn't the only thing. Apparently, on top of that, the first tweet of the new year, and I guess y'all following this. I wasn't following. I just seen this. But the first tweet of the new year was against who was he talking about? Who we going? Well, we're not going to war with him. I think we're just criticizing him. Pakistan. But lies in. I'm sorry. Let me straighten up. I got a big butt that I cannot lie. Y'all don't, this is 80s. I'm sorry. Lynn, stop it. The humor. We trying to be serious, y'all. These are serious people, y'all. Serious times.
Nothing but lies and deceit. Samira Khan has the story.
U.S.-Pakistan relations are at an all-time low lately, with protests raging on all across the country. Pakistanis have taken to the streets, burning American flags and chanting anti-Trump slogans. Now, this is all after Trump targeted Pakistan in his first tweet of 2018. Great way to start off the new year, accusing them.
I'm curious about the sustainability in Pakistan. Do y'all just have these banners and you don't have a president? You just it's like tape or something, and every new president, you can just put a new president on there and just always, because They hate every president. I know. I'm saying it that way because people they're like, oh, Trump's so different from Obama, and Obama was this and he was that. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because people around the world, when they do the protest, they don't even change the banner. The banner says the exact same thing. They just change the face of the presidents because it's always the same thing. They always do the same thing. They always incite the same problems and violence. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Safe havens for terrorists they're pursuing in Afghanistan.
The United States has foolishly given Pakistan more than $33 billion in aid over the last 15 years, and they have given us nothing but lies and deceit, thinking of our leaders as fools. They give safe haven to the terrorists we hunt in Afghanistan, with little help.
With little help. So, what do I think about this? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it's awesome BS. I think it's the same thing. First of all presidents, they all do the same thing. Number two, it's walking us into this belief that the war on terror is a thing, right? Like, they don't want you to question the war on terror. They want you to question who's not helping in the war on terror. They don't want you to question the fact that it's poor people who don't want you telling them what to do, right? Like, that's what every protest is and every push against an establishment is. Now, mind you, they got their own psychopaths in there blowing people up, or desperate people, whatever. But the war on terror is just a war on poor people. It's the war on forcing people to allow us to take their resources, bomb their countries, and do whatever the hell we want to do. So I don't like the question of, is Pakistan helping us go in and bomb their own citizens and murder and all the crazy stuff we're doing? But I think the question is, should the war on terror exist? And that's why I think these arguments and these tweets and everything Obama said, and everything that they make all these people say, it always walks us down this, arguing whether or not Pakistan is helping. Are they harboring terrorists? Are they helping the terrorists? And not, should we be murdering poor people? Should we be bombing towns that have children that are playing soccer? Ask the human question. I'm always going to lean towards back to this. Ask the human question. You can take the stance you want, and I know some of my Trump friends, not all of them, some of them, oh, well, he's doing it, he's got to be tough, and he's not. First of all, we're supposed to have a whole bunch of peace, right? We're going to have peace with Russia, peace with Iran, we're going to have peace with everybody. It's going to be a business president. That's not happening, right? Same thing with Obama. Oh, we're going to have change. We're going to stop the wars. We're going to end all this stuff, bring the troops home. We're all going to kumbaya love, make some s'mores with the people, and they're going to stop wanting to blow us up in terrorism. Didn't happen, because it's the same thing all the time. But you got to question it, not the personality, but the policy, right? We don't need Pakistan to help us to bomb their citizens, because we shouldn't be bombing their citizens. Right? Anybody who comes up with a violent solution, you know what? Shouldn't be in power. But hold on. I heard about this and it didn't key in on my mind till I think I got it. Hold on. The State Department came out with the memo. Did y'all hear about this? The State Department came out with that memo that basically said they don't believe in human rights. That human rights was just a political thing. Hold on, let me see. I know, goodness, I posted it. I know some of y'all watched it. Some of y'all don't watch nothing I posted. That's fine. I posted stuff because I think it's interesting. Somewhere.
Now, democracy.
This is a long one. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it was brother Glenn Greenwald. Did you see my original post? I put Alan Greenspan. I quoted on the Alan Greenspan. It was the wrong quote. That wasn't in his name. I don't even know Greenspan. This is why you shouldn't get old, because your brain do crazy stuff. But it was Green, and I fixed the post. Thank you. I got my grammar police and my people police. They make sure that this old man ain't posting stuff that's too crazy. But somewhere down in here,
now.org, the War and
he
Peace
was talking about.
I think it's worth remembering that for a long time, it has been the top item on the foreign policy agenda of lots of factions to have regime change in.
Oh, set stage for it. So we were talking about this yesterday, right? This was whether or not Al Jazeera sold out. Somebody had an interesting post. I thought it was odd. I thought it was odd that Al Jazeera was actually saying that the Iranian citizens were protesting because they wanted America to invade, right? And I was trying to figure it out. I was like, wait a minute. I had to scratch my head. are Iranian citizens saying they want a regime change? They want the United States of America to come in and destroy their towns, destroy their cities, murder a whole bunch of children and their citizens, just destroy the country like we did Iraq, like we did Afghanistan, like we do everywhere, as opposed to just fixing their government? And I was thinking, Al Jazeera, that's not smelling right. Remember what I said? You can't trust anybody. You cannot trust anybody. You got to question absolutely everything. And I think one of y'all posted that Al Jazeera English is a little different. Al Jazeera English is kind of going its own little way. And it actually kind of makes some sense, is that the reason they're not attacking Al Jazeera the way they used to is because they've determined that in order to make it into the United States, you publish in English in America, you have to go along with what the deep state and the State Department allows you. Like, they probably let you say everything you want to say up to a certain point. And so this is why I listen to RT mostly more now, and I'm kind of, I'm gonna start pulling back from Al Jazeera English a little bit, because it's obvious. Let me finish. Let Glenn talk. He know what he's talking about. He's smarter than I am. Just let Glenn talk a little bit.
Iran. Going back to 2005, 2006, the neocon slogan after they toppled Saddam Hussein was "Real men go to Tehran." They were really most eager to facilitate regime change in Iran. And so there's a lot of interest in terms of agitating for instability in Iran from people who are pretending to care about the Iranian people, but who actually couldn't care less about the Iranian people. And you can start with Donald Trump, who, as you just noted, tweeted his grave concern for the welfare of Iranians. This is the same president who not more than 3 months ago announced a ban on Iranians from coming to the United States. He's somebody who has aligned with the world's worst, most savage dictators, including in Saudi Arabia and other places around the world. Lots of Western commentators who are posturing about being concerned about human rights in Iran are people in think tanks funded by other dictatorships and repressive tyrants in the same region. So I think we ought to be extremely skeptical when it comes to people like Donald Trump or people in Washington think tanks pretending that they're wanting to intervene in Iran out of concern for human rights or for the welfare of the Iranian people. I think when it comes to foreign policy, the best thing we can hope for is that the United States stays out of what is a matter of political dispute inside Iran.
He's hitting on a whole bunch of stuff there, whole bunch of deep stuff. So first of all, the thing we have to accept is the reality that, yes, we are always aligned with the world's most savage dictators. Always. Why is that the case? Because the West puts them there. The West tends to be the one who funds them, that fuels them, that gives them their tanks, their bombs. And so we're always forced to go along with the greatest evils. Look at Saudi Arabia. They've just restarted. They have a famine going on now that's reaching biblical proportions. They're saying it's affecting 20 million people. America and nobody in the West is saying anything because they don't care. And this is what he touched on. They don't give a damn. They don't. And so those of y'all who are saying, oh, well, Obama is a Christian and Trump is a Christian. First of all, I'm not going to touch that because, you know, from a personality perspective, I am a little critical of what I allow people to be called what a Christian is. Someone who actually listens to Christ and did what Christ does, or tries to give a damn about one thing, not everything, but just one damn thing Christ actually said about murdering people. But that's another whole discussion. I think it's a thing of their actions, right? So I don't think they're in control of their own actions. And I think their actions are being dictated by the deep state. I think JFK was in control of his own actions. And look where they put him. So I think, again, I think the presidents are well-meaning, so don't be mad at me. But they're not allowed to do any damn thing because you always are in total support or you're in total hate mode because you're lost in this little ignorant land that Democrats and Republicans are any damn thing different. So the Greenspan is nailing some things there. And I lost the spot where he was talking about the memo. If somebody has it, please post it. There was a memo the State Department released where they basically said that human rights really isn't a thing. It's not, I know I'm paraphrasing, but they lie all the time, so I can paraphrase lie a little bit. human rights really isn't a thing. It's kind of not so much of a thing and so much of a tool. We kind of use it to determine what we need to do to protect our interests and blah, blah. But they basically came out and they said human rights doesn't exist and they don't give a damn about it, which is why none of the presidents give a damn about it, because they're not allowed to give a damn about it, because they're not actually in control of their country. They're not in control of their administrations. They don't even pick them. Going back to Obama and who picked the Obama administration? Citigroup. And damn, I never even had to count a Citigroup. I actually probably did. They're that big to pick an American president. They probably own the smaller banks and we got accounts with them. But, you know, it's just this thing that it's right in your face. It's always in your face. Like we were talking about yesterday, they hide truth in plain sight where no one will ever look to find it. It's right in your face that your presidents, the ones you love, you got the yard signs and the bumper stickers and all that stuff, none of them are in control. But I think some of y'all know that. I think the vast majority of people are lost and gaslit in this thing, but I think some people know that. And I think some people, they get the fact that whatever president Americans actually wake up on and they actually start calling them to task and forcing them to do what they say they were going to do, forcing them to take care and do one damn thing for American citizens, one damn thing for the starving kids in America, that president's going to be very famous. That president is going to go down in history. And I think there's some people who they'd rather just let the world be destroyed. They just let kids starve all over America. They're completely okay with locking all of these kids up in these prisons and bombing and starving and famines that are going on because they want their team, their little stork birth association narrative indoctrinated team to be in power when that happens. And they're willing to let a lot of people die to get it. I don't know. Let me go to the end of this thing. Hold on. It got real great.
Protests and the right of rebellion elsewhere. And that's why I said at the start, although we shouldn't opine on the internal affairs of Iran from a distance because it's too complicated and kind of opaque for us to really meaningfully do that. What we can and should do is affirm the right of people everywhere to protest against their government without being imprisoned, without being detained, without being shot at with tear gas canisters, and without being killed, all of which is happening in Iran. And so when Donald Trump, even as manipulative as it is, upholds this value, I do think it can spark protest and this kind of ethos of reform and rebellion and people going out onto the streets and demanding government treatment far beyond what he might intend. Here in the United States, of course, there has been probably the most robust protest against the Trump administration that we've seen in the United States in probably a few decades. He doesn't seem to like protests very much in the United States. His Justice Department is prosecuting protesters. But I do think that when you see things like what's going on in Iran, really poor people without any political rights in the street standing up against a repressive government, it can inspire people around the world to do the same.
In Greenwald, we're going to break, and when we come back...
So I kind of get a little tickle. I get a little giggle, a little tickle anytime one of these presidents stands up and says, we're going to stand up for human rights in other countries. They're protesting. They don't have food. They don't have water. They don't have human rights. I'm just sitting here thinking, are you talking about Iran? Or damn it, you talking about DAPL in the pipeline? Are you talking about Detroit? Are you talking about Alabama? Who are you talking about? It's the same damn thing all over the world. Everybody standing up and protesting because we all know our leaders are nuts, or a lot of people know that the leaders are nuts. So the same things that Iran is doing, we do right here in America. Yes, the current, I can't say the name, the current administration is going after protests the same way the last administration did. Of course, the current administration is going after whistleblowers because the last administration, damn it, I think we still got people in prison who were peacefully protesting with Occupy. Don't we have the corporate protest laws where now you can't even protest a corporation in the United States? So come on, man, stop it. And human rights. I was in this good discussion the other day with a brother on another website. We were talking about, because I did that post, we were talking about the Vietnam War. And in fact, I think he was a soldier in the Vietnam War, and he was kind of talking, he was blaming himself, and he was saying, well, we did this, and it's our fault, and da 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 da. Hey, listen, I love the troops, I do support you guys, but I think that's bull. Is bull. I don't blame you. I think everybody shares a piece of a blame in all of this, but the lion's share of all the blame for all the wars has always been the leaders. It's always been the government, because they are the ones who place you with a gun next to other people who want to kill you who have guns, right? If they do that, they are the one who orchestrated the entire thing. And 9 times out of 10, every time I've looked back, they lied to get you into the war. So I want to be a little honest, a little straightforward on that. When you take a kid who is 19, 18, 20, 21, 22, the earth is not flat. What do I mean by the earth is not flat? I mean, trust the science. These kids aren't even human beings yet. Again, the science says you don't even have a human brain. You don't even have a fully functioning frontal lobe that makes all your decisions until you're at least 26. So if you signed up to go in the military and the people who have human, fully formed brains make decisions to place you in harm's way to defend yourself in really bad circumstances, that's on them. That's not you. This is a human planet. Unfortunately, it's a human world. We do this. And I get a little forceful when I get a little annoyed by it. But again, if you served in the military and you did and saw things that are bothering you, that's not on you, especially if you were a kid when you signed up. You didn't even have the ability to form that decision as to whether or not it was okay to murder people. My position on this is simple. I don't think anybody under 28 or 26 should even be allowed to sign up for the military. But the simple fact is, I barely think you should drive a car, right? Because you get behind the wheel of a car and you're not making the right decisions, then yeah, damn it. One of the first speeding tickets I got, I was going 120 miles an hour. I got my little, oh, dang it, my kids might watch. Never mind, I know I wasn't. I was going about 82 in a 75, and I got a ticket. One of my first cars was a sports car. Me and a brother of mine, we like to race a little bit. We got caught going to the beach. But when you take someone who actually can't even make a decision as to whether or not it's a good idea to drive a car far beyond safety limits, and they don't think that if I get in a car accident, I could end up killing, like a little kid, I could end up killing other people. It would totally destroy my life. I'll hate myself forever. You can't decide that it's a good idea to go murder people you've never met. You can't decide that, is my government controlled by Wall Street? Are they going to go put me in a war for oil? Or are they going to actually send me to a conflict where I'm going to go in and I'm going to save people's lives? Am I going to go in and a lot of young people sign up to the military because they think they're going to be put up against Saudi Arabia, right? And bring in human aid supplies and feed starving people and help end famines. They don't think they're being sent in to fight on Saudi Arabia's side, to increase the blockades, to kill more people, which is just genocide because they want that land. So, I mean, that's kind of my position. I'm not sure how I got there. I just wanted to kind of explain that I'm not a true blamer. I'm not a true blamer. I think that we need to be smart enough, those of us who have fully formed frontal lobes, to instruct our kids, do not sign up in the military. That our military, it's not the United States military now. It hadn't been for a long time. It's Wall Street's military. Right? It's outsourced to any government around the world who pays enough money. That's how it works. And so, he sent me down a tangent, and I didn't want to go down that. Let me see what y'all talking about. Nothing gets to me more than contradiction. Nothing gets to me more than people who talk, their tongues waggle out of both sides. If you don't respect human rights in your own country, if you're putting kids from trailer parks and ghettos in prison cells smaller than what you give a damn lion, a monkey, or reptiles in a zoo to, you can't talk about human rights. You have no position or place to speak about anything human until you stop. It's like an abusive husband. Until you stop beating your own wife, how in the hell are you telling somebody else how to run their marriage, right? So this is the crap that we're kind of Sister Jones said, I agree, Al Jazeera has been compromised. Yeah, and these are signs that the people of Iran are caring that don't say what mainstream media claims they do. Ooh, that would actually make for an interesting analysis, Joan, is to have someone who actually can read the signs, host what the signs actually say, versus what the media saying they say. And yeah, I think Al Jazeera might be compromised too. Or it's just kind of how this corrupt game goes, right? Because Americans are so busy fighting each other over Lincoln, whatever they think is interesting. Some silly, stupid politic discussion. We lost our free speech. And because we don't have free speech, every administration encroaches deeper and deeper down this censorship path. And real soon, our social media will be gone. Like I said, I don't blame Facebook. I don't blame YouTube. I don't blame Google. I don't blame any Twitter. It's not on them. And it's not even on the politicians. This is on us. We own this. We don't stand up for our free speech. We don't stand up for our rights. We can't seem to prioritize what's most important and getting together with the other side. You know what? That's another good point. And so we lose all our rights. Do you know what Kim Jong-un, Young Sung, Bung, Dung Ho, you know what he said, North Korea, that dude, know what he said? Know what he did? He opened up communication with South Korea, y'all. He opened up communication. Why? How is it that Kim Young Sung Bung Dung Ho M, how is it that he is smarter than the left and the right, and he can open up communications? He's supposed to be crazy. We call him Rocket Man, but little button man with the broken button. And he's smarter than Democrats and Republicans who refuse to talk to each other. Are you kidding me? He opened it. He's talking to them. This is why I say negotiate with terrorists. That's what you're supposed to do. It's called being an adult. When somebody has something against you, you talk to them, dummy. That's what you do. That's how you resolve conflict and problems. You don't go murder a bunch of people and make more of them. So he's doing that. Now, mind you, he's not doing it for the right thing. So the reason he's talking to South Korea is because the Olympics are coming up, right? See, the 1% in North Korea, which is what Kim Jong-un is, and the 1% in America, which is what all the 1% in, and the 1.1% in South Korea and everywhere else, see, they agree on some very basic things. See, we can't agree on censorship. We can't agree on freedom of speech. We can't agree on putting children in prisons. We can't agree on starting all the endless wars because we got shiny things to disagree about. But all the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, you know what they agree on? Is putting us in some damn coliseums. And that's what it's about. The only reason Kim actually opened up the communication lines, which is a good thing, it was to talk about getting the North Koreans into the next Olympics. That's all it was. So that's the only time the 1% will talk is when they put us in an arena to go. And now, mind you, we're not murdering each other in the arena. Not yet, not then. It'll get back to those Roman days. But that's what the 1% always agree on. You can take some fools and put them in the ring and entertain us. We want to be entertained. You dumb monkeys, entertain us. Oh, gosh. Sister Lynn said, democracy now is Soros funded. Totally agree. Totally agree. There is no democracy in Soros. He made all his money internationally from destabilizing currencies. Yeah, markets. You know that he can't even go in certain countries now. That's what he does. He destabilizes things. And so people come in, oh, he's here to help us. He's a good man. He got a blessed heart. No, he does not. That man is destabilizing communities, which is why he gave all that money he did to start the movements he did, because he knows it would piss off some other people, destabilizing things. And I think down the road, you'll find out he is heavily invested in the prison system, which is why he wants people on the street yelling and screaming about justice and fighting a system that can't be fought, that everybody decide to make into a police state. So Soros is a bad dude, and I think what he's up to is something he probably has body cameras or something he's invested in. But the more young people you get on the street yelling, screaming, fighting with the police, the more desensitized the police, the more problems it's going to create. Which is why always turn on someone who is promoting a violent solution. Right now, like I said, now is not the time to protest. Now is not the time to be in the streets because we don't even know who the enemy is. We don't even know who our friends are. What are y'all talking about? Sister Lynn said the conductor. You just nailing them today, Lynn. You just you funny. Stop. Oh goodness, got a big butt, and I cannot lie. All right. Lynn said the conductor of the orchestra is responsible for the musicians. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that sometimes I'm not sure that my brain is doing what it's supposed to do, but I appreciate it when you confirm the way I'm thinking, and that is true. The conductor is responsible for the musicians. In fact, if you are a musician, don't blame yourself. Talk to people and share what you've experienced. You can share your regret. But no, I don't blame the soldiers. And by that right, a lot of times, I don't necessarily blame the police. Because who are the conductors of the laws that govern police? They're the politicians that we can't seem to stop cheering for. So, and there's some real bad dudes that are police too. But there are also some people who are caught up in this. And once you're in a bad situation, all right, I'm not gonna go farther down that road, but y'all know what I believe on that, so we'll leave that alone. MSN's purpose is to spin and corporate truth. Yes, I totally agree, Kristen, which is why I don't watch any of those stations. I do my best to just get news internationally as much as possible. I don't believe anything that I see in TV, which is why I think the aliens are. Y'all want to know if Bigfoot is real? I think they got another Bigfoot show coming out. You know what? I want to know if Bigfoot is real. I think it kind of makes some sense, you know, because they got that. What is it? I only messed the word up. It's big monkey. They found a big monkey. Big monkey bones. Gigantopithecus. Okay. Is Bigfoot real? Well, damn it, in the fossil record, it's something that looked like a Bigfoot. And my number one question, Kristen, is y'all get watching and answer the question. Is Bigfoot real? If they say no, I believe in Bigfoot. If they say, yeah, Bigfoot might be real, no, ain't no Bigfoot. Bigfoot, they all died out, they extinct a long time because all they can do is lie. When you know your lying friends, you always know the question to ask them. Stop fighting. It's a rich man's oil war. Yes, it is, Sister Lynn. And everybody who has not seen that documentary about everything is a rich man's game or everything is a rich man's lie, y'all need to watch that. Once they catch who did this to JFK, I think the whole world's going to change because I think the men who killed JFK are the research that was done to figure out who these cats are. They're the people who run the world. If we actually get them, everything's going to look completely different. Americans can actually have their government back and actually make a few decisions. Morning, Brother Mark. I was just about to shut down, man. I had to go pee. I'm sorry. Mark, I wanted to hang out, but I got it. I'm on the plantation. I got to get to work, and I got to use the bathroom. And there's no elite bunkers around. People got mad at me. I was going to say I'm peeing elite bunkers. Like, I'm still going to do it. I would be mad at me if you want. I see some elite bunkers and an asteroid coming. I'm going to do what I got to do. So, you know, that's right, Kristen. It's our government. It is our government. We don't control it, but it's our government. Viewable, yes, Viewable is coming out. Brother Tattoo's working on that. I can't wait till he's done. If you guys have not heard of Viewable, you got to check out Viewable. Thank you for the link, Sister Lynn. We do need platforms that support free speech. Hopefully we can get to a place where we can pull our social medias back, where our government's not forcing them to censor. But that would be great, which is another thing. What are they doing now? They are taking orders from, I want to say it was Israel and the State Department as to which accounts to delete. So y'all gonna see some people deleting. Y'all gonna see some people disappearing. And that's kind of how it goes. This is the climate, though. We got to operate within it, which is, this is their house. This is not our house. This is their, social media is their house. And if they need certain tax breaks or benefits or whatever, and the CIA tells them this person got to go, the person's going to go, because we allowed this to happen and we supported it and we voted for it, and people are still voting for it, which is why I say, when y'all start telling me, oh, we need to get behind this politician, he going to bring in some more change. I tell you, you can bring in whoever the hell you want, they ain't going to bring in a damn thing, but the same damn thing. And I love my kids, so you can go to hell and stuff that politician back up your anus where you found him. I know. I just pissed somebody off. I'm sorry. Anyway. All right. Last of the last, then I'm going to get off of here. Lolamar, what'd you say? Claudia and Debbie both think he's gone. Their words. Oh, Assange. Are you talking about Assange? Yeah, didn't they? He tweeted. They got another tweet that looks like it was an end of life tweet where, what was it, the dead man switch or something that he tweeted. I don't know. Is Assange alive or dead? I know that it would make a whole lot of sense if they control WikiLeaks with all the damage it did in putting truth out. That's what I do. By the CIA, I'd find somebody who looks just like him, the same way they did with JFK, and I would put him in the place and pretend he's Assange. He could be. I don't know. But even Assange, you have to question everything that comes out. And I think one of the most damning things someone said to me about Assange, they said his lawyer is the same lawyer, is it that the Koch brothers use? Or his lawyer is the same brother that one of the Rockefellers used? And I was kind of like, that's not sounding right. You fighting the system, y'all got the same lawyer, something a little funky in the Kool-Aid, something floating in the tea. I don't know what's floating in the tea. It might be some dingleberries or something, but it doesn't smell right. Kind of like Al Jazeera. Who's missing? What happened to Deborah Tavares? I don't know. She's missing? No, Sister Sharon, I don't know. Tell me. I don't know what happened to the people go missing. Because there's a whole bunch of them that go missing. You tell the truth, you are not going to be a popular or favorite. Let me see. It said Facebook may have deleted SP stream on the rant. Wow. Well, but can we do this? Can we start actually, instead of talking about the names of the social media companies, perhaps we just say deep state. Perhaps we just say CIA. Perhaps we say we go to the root of what's forcing them to do what they do. Because I think if people focus on the real problems, when politicians like Ron Paul and some of them that y'all call crazy, JFK said it too, to get rid of the CIA, break it apart into a million pieces. When they say that, then your anger is focused on them because they're the ones who are attacking free speech and doing this stuff, not Facebook and Google and so. I don't know. Just a thought. People might get upset. They like attacking Facebook. I'm not a Facebook attacker. I think if you really think back, this started with Yahoo. Young people don't know what Yahoo is. In fact, to be honest with you, it probably started with Alta Vista. Yes, Alta Vista? Yahoo? What the hell is this guy talking? Damn it, it might have came from Prodigy. All right, I'm showing my age now. I'm not going to push it that far. But always look at the root cause, people. Always dig down to the base of it. Don't get lost in the side effects. Don't treat the side effects. Always, if you say, oh, it's this, and someone has a deeper statement as to where this problem came from, a root cause, always get down to the root cause. The mid-tier is where we lose. The mid-tier is where we don't ever get anything fixed. And we got to start fixing things in this world. So we got to start focused on the root problem. The mid-tier, Trump, Obama. The mid-tier, police. The mid-tier is constantly these things, social media. It's always these things that if you argue, fuss, and fight about, you'll never actually fix the problem. But if you always go down to the root cause, whether that be greed, be the CIA, whether it be the fact that we don't control our government, Americans have precisely zero influence in their government, then we can actually talk about, we can design a real solution that will fix the problem across the board for everybody. So anyway. All right, folks, that's it. I'm gonna let these brothers get back to what they're doing. They got some stuff in the pyramid. They got some stuff in the pyramid they're working on. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them get back to it. And hey, listen, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It was a lot of fun. Y'all have a good day, and always focus on the details. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death.